Hi, this is Lee, and this is my IOL folio presentation. For Illusion of Life, I would like to investigate how to make the emotion of the character and scenes more visible in the animation sequence. For example, different dynamic lines that allow the audience to feel calmness, excitement, happiness, and sadness, or feel the confusion, bewilderment, or satisfaction of the character in her action. This testing process will not be limited to the linear iteration of animation drawing, but will include testing the expression of emotion from different animation techniques such as sound effects, conversation, abstract transition frames, etc., so that I can clearly understand what kind of animation technique or movement can drive the level of emotions I need. The thing of my Studio 3 project is to express that will take away something from people's heart and each individuals will use it only to fill the gap inside. The reason of the entire animation is to reveal from the relatively calm state to mentally frolic and finally to calm down. From the beginning of the encounter to the final departure, the changes at each node are worth to explore, research and test so that the emotion expressed in different scenes are not limited to superficial happiness and sadness. I hope to feel a deeper level from the picture, such as regret, mourning, or let go calmly. Of course, these complex emotions need to be reflected according to the context. Before entering this level directly, all I need to do is to express the most basic emotions clearly. This is what I need to focus on in the practice of this course. There are several challenges for me. First, as an illustrator, I'm not good at drawing animations. There is always a big difference between the imagined dynamics and drawn dynamics. I need to improve my skill in this area through this course. The second point is that I need to control the amount of emotions contained in the animation. Different scenarios require different amount of emotion, and this is something I need to study and practice. One of my references is the stop motion animation named I Am Square by French artist Benoit Leva. The single box shapes can also convey rich human emotions through the abstract expression of the animation. His control of timing and pacing allows the audience to feel the corresponding emotions very intuitively. Another reference is Gakulak by Wang Xueyin. The abstract changes in the sense of this animation are combined with music to set off the struggles of the characters. The same confusion and tension can also be felt in the characters' movement. The easiest place to start is to test it directly through my Studio 3 project. During the class exercise in first week, I realized that different perspectives can bring different possibilities. So I changed some of my Studio 3 storyboards and I used downshot to express doubts and unstable feelings. In the second work, I chose several shots in Studio 3 to practice. I looked for tutorials on line animation and draw waves with different rhythms. I used formulas to make me more familiar with the drawing process, and then added the desired feeling to the animation sequence and make it have a calm feeling. Then I put this result into my Scenes in Studio project. I want to convey the feeling of silence that countless words hidden under the calm picture. I adjusted the speed of the hair more slowly and iterated several versions to achieve this effect. In another looping animation, I tried to draw the character who in a state of distraction. I tried to draw her moving slowly and iterated to a more stable version, but the feedback I got was that I paid too much attention to the details. Ivan recommended me to omit the facial feature and limbs, and break down the complex shapes into the simplest geometry. The animation does not look beautiful but needs to feel beautiful. With a clear goal in mind, I iterated on this shot again based on the themes of week 3, adjusting the animation rhythm, timing, and space of the basic geometry to achieve what I call the trance-like mode. The fourth week put me out of the endless iteration on one image. Depending on how the music made me feel, I reasoned in the opposite direction to create an image that could be expressed. Otherwise, depending on the content of the image, with a different soundscape, could achieve the exact opposite effect. And this perspective helped me a lot. Because the music is imported into the software, I can clearly mark the position of the keyframes, which also enable me to have a quicker and clearer steps when creating animations. Based on this week's exercise, I went back to the Studio 3 project and dubbed one of my cat jumping scenes. I created this sound effect using the sound of keyboard slide. This has a more dramatic effect than just jumping on the floor. The novelty of the sound effect adds to the joy of the scenes as well. In my week 5 exercise, I want to understand the peak of two emotions and how to go about stopping one emotion quickly when I switching the feeling of animation in short period of sequence. In my Studio 3 stories, there is a similar transition section. I utilized techniques from previous week, including sound effect, to create an atmosphere that rapidly crossing the line between single emotionlessness and uproarious joy. This attempt proves that the rich emotion in the end of sequence would be carried over into the subsequent calmer sequence, and this continuation could be seen as a kind of emotional drop-off, where the more upbeat the animation in the first section, the more the cliff-like static in the back would make the viewer feel somewhat lost. This is the effect I was trying to get with some of the transitions in Studio 3. This has helped me a lot. During the previous week of practice, I found that because I was doing iterations based on Studio 3, I was a lot more limited in drawing different emotions. I was unconsciously trying to reduce the emotion of the scene to achieve what I expected, but in reality, it was taking a lot of opportunities away to explore different emotional expressions. I didn't want to just draw the emotions that only exist in my Studio 3 project. So, for the rest of the semester, I will still be using the Studio 3 scenes for practice, but I will also be moving away from Studio 3 to test some abstract sequence with strong emotions, depending on the weekly themes. Then see if I can test drawing different level of emotions or draw different emotions under the same emotional level. These results can help me a lot in the future when drawing animation or even writing plots. My knowledge of control emotion expression can also help me improve the Studio 3 project. Simply put, a reflection of the visual quality.